Guys. So for today's lesson, we are going to be talking about the states of matter. Now, first off, we would have to start with what is matter? Okay, so let me present this. All right. Now, I don't have my journal with me to be able to write down these notes, but please make sure you go in your journal, your science and social studies journal, and you write down this information. Okay, especially the top one. All right. What is matter? So matter is any living or non-living thing in the universe. Okay. All objects, things, plants, people, animals are made up of matter. Anything that has mass and occupies space is matter. Even the air you breathe is matter. Okay, so please write these things down on this slide in your science journal for matter, or for the states of matter. That would be your title, the states of matter. Okay, so write the information that they have down on this slide for me in your journals. Okay, so matter is any living or non-living thing in the universe. So we have three different main states of matter. Okay, a solid. This is when the particles are tightly packed together. Okay, they're tightly packed together. They're solid, right? Creating a solid item, right? Or a solid surface. So just like those ice cubes there, the particles or the molecules that make up that matter of that item are tightly packed together. That's why it's hard. That's why they call it a solid, okay? A liquid, the particles are close together, but they don't really have a pattern, right? They're kind of close together. They're not super packed tightly together like a solid. So they've got a little bit of space in between them, but not a super huge amount of space, right? It's kind of like a middle, like an in-between, right? So the particles are somewhat close together, but there's not a specific pattern to them, okay? They're kind of just randomly placed. And that's because liquids will fill up any kind of container that you put them in. Liquid is very fluid. It's very flexible. It's not rigid like a solid. It's not hard. So the liquid particles just move around freely, or more freely, all right? For gas, the particles are separated, all right? So they have a ton of space in between them, right? And there's definitely not a pattern, right? So gas particles move very, very quickly, right? So there's more space in between those particles for gas than there is for liquid, and definitely a lot more than what there is for solids, all right? So those are our three states of matter: solid, liquid, and gas. So on this slide here, this is what we're going to model this together, all right? Modeling matter. So I have to exit out of that. And let's do this together. So let me see if I can zoom in just a bit here. All right. It's a little bit too much, but that's okay. We can do it. All right. So modeling matter. Think about the organization of particles in a solid, liquid, and gas. Well, slide number 2 kind of tells us how the particles are. So let's think of this. Place the circles on the right in each column to represent the arrangement of the particles in each state of matter. Okay, so what they're asking us to do is to take these little purple dots, these are going to be our particles, and we need to arrange them in these 3 columns according to the information that it tells us here. So let's start with solid first. Okay, so solid particles are tightly packed together, right? So let me drag this over here. So I'm going to put one there, tightly packed together. So I want them to be pretty close to one another, not too much space, right? Because that's what it told us. That's the information that it told us on slide 2, that particles, solid particles, are tightly packed and close together. Okay, so let's see. I'll leave it at that for now. And if I have some extra, I'll add some more later. So let's cite some examples. What are some examples of matter that is solid, that things are packed tightly together? Okay. All right. If you said a rock, that's an example of a solid matter. What else could we say? Maybe we could say a tree trunk. So think about anything that is kind of hard, right? It's solid. Okay, rocks are very solid. They're not soft. They're not like a liquid, and they're definitely not a gas. So rocks, tree trunks. What else? What else could we say as examples of solids? Oh, a table. Okay, a table is a solid state of matter because it's not going to break easily. And for one thing, it's not a liquid and it's not a gas. So pretty much any kind of object that is not liquid and not a gas is a solid. You could say a pencil. We could say a car. Any of those things are examples of a solid state of matter. Okay, so let's go to the liquid over here. So liquid, it said on slide 2 that liquid particles are close together, but they don't really have a pattern, all right? So they're not tightly packed together like the solids, but they're kind of close together. So I'll put them a bit like that. And again, it said there's not really that much of a pattern to them. They're kind of random, all right? So let's arrange these here. So they're still kind of close together, but just like in slide 2, it's telling me that there's not really a pattern to them, to the particles. Okay, they kind of go wherever they need to go. So let me see, actually I might move this one over here. There we go. Or maybe we'll move this one down here. Okay, I think that's better for a liquid. So, well, now I made kind of a circle shape. That's all right. They're close together and they don't really have a particular pattern. That's exactly what we need. Okay, so what are some examples of some liquid? There's a really common one. We need it to survive. What is it? Water. Good job. What else is an example of a liquid? Orange juice. Ooh, what about chocolate milk? All right, what else? What else could we say? Tea, soda. Whoops, can't spell soda. Soda. All right, good. So we did liquid, and now the last one we need to do is gas. So gas has a lot more space in between its particles because those particles need that room to kind of move around, right? They're moving around and bouncing around off of things at like a super fast speed, okay? So a gas would be more spread out, right? They would be more spread out. So just like that, we could leave it like that. All right. So what are some examples of a gas that we could put? Okay, so air, that's an important one. We breathe air, right? We could also say maybe a perfume is an example of a gas in a way. Or actually, no, I take that back. Not perfume. I think perfume would go more with liquid. Okay, so air, we could say carbon dioxide. That's the air that we breathe out. We could say, what else? What else could we say? Oh, just natural like gas, right? Before it's turned into gasoline, we get natural gas from the earth. All right, and we'll stop there. So good. So we have our solid, liquid, and gas. And we gave some examples. Now, what you're going to do for your independent assignment is you are going to first read these directions here on this slide. So for slide 5, you are going to sort the objects at the bottom of the slide into their correct category. And then on slide 2, you're going to insert pictures that are different, keyword is different from the ones that are in slide 5, okay? So don't go find a picture of a bat and put that in slide 6, okay? Find different examples. Now, if you have one of those laptops that gives you trouble whenever you try to insert pictures, just type out the examples for me in words. Okay, you could still do it that way. Alrighty, so go ahead and get started with that assignment, guys. All right, re-watch this video and then also make sure you watch the Study Jams video. It's very helpful for what we are talking about for today.